Oh, we're recording.
Wrecking.
This is actually the most useful thing you might have bought recently, Luke.
Yeah, I think it is actually.
Pity.
Oh no! Here we go.
Right, ready.
I'm ready.
We're back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Loudmouth Podcast. I'm your host, Alfie, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts, Luke and Ryan.
Hello.
Yeah, we're here.
We're here.
We're back. We're back, and we got a new sofa.
A new sofa.
We have.
We've
God,
changed.
fuck, you know.
We've changed studios, guys.
3 in a bed here, isn't it?
3 in a bed.
And then you're sort of squashed in the middle, which is quite romantic.
Oh,
I know. A bit intimate.
yeah. Sausage sandwich. Whee.
Sausage sandwich.
Anyway,
So, guys, how was your New Year's?
Yeah, it was good.
decent. I saw Jojo Rabbit.
Did you?
Yeah, it was really good.
Why? I knew you'd seen it, but I didn't realise. You never actually said what you thought of it.
Well, I did, but you were very intoxicated when I told you.
Was I?
I think so. Yeah, it was really good.
I probably was, yeah.
Yeah, Jojo Rabbit, watch it, but we need to put a leash on me when talking about films now. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we do. We spent.
we can't let you sort of run loose anymore.
I know, but we have got a film to talk about today.
We do, yeah, we do. What was it?
So
Oh, yes.
I'm happy with saying it's probably the biggest film of the year,
Yeah.
despite not wanting to say that.
Yeah.
Topic of many a conversation, very controversial, praised by many, hated by others.
Yeah.
It's Joker,
It's
Yeah.
Joker.
It's
starring.
the one film I've seen this year.
What
It's
about
Joker?
what about Rise of Skywalker though?
I did see. I've seen Rise of Skywalker
We did
twice.
see that. We saw that on the premiere night.
Well,
we saw it opening night.
before we head into
Yeah. Oh God.
Joker, I'd like you boys to elaborate on your experience with the Rise of Skywalker,
So-
because I saw Luke rang me throughout the night, and I got to hear many a reaction to, especially when I told him the Rotten Tomatoes score.
We went to go see a triple bill screening of the Rise of the sequel
Worst
trilogy.
idea ever.
I know, it was really intense.
It was full on. It was like 8 hours of just sitting there and watching a mess.
Yeah.
And just a little bit of context, Luke, would you like to explain your knowledge of Star Wars, any of the previous films? Because up to this point,
I was a Star Wars virgin.
he'd never seen a Star Wars movie.
No, and then we decided
Yeah.
to go see 3 in
Well,
one
we
go.
didn't decide. A good friend of mine. He's a big Star Wars
Oh
fan.
mate, we gotta go.
He's a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
And he obviously didn't have anyone to go with.
I would have gone.
And Alfie is he doesn't admit it, but he is.
I'm a massive Star
he's a
Wars fan. I
He's-
love Star
But
Wars.
you're a bit of an introverted Star Wars fan.
I am. I'm hidden. Although I've got an
Yeah.
X-wing. I've got Lego X-wing that sits on my
Yeah.
dresser,
Yeah.
and that's about as much as I'm willing to show
That Star
people.
Wars Lego is pretty good though.
It's pretty
It's
cool.
pretty
isn't
Not
it?
cool.
gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool X-wing.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's but like, I've had a lot to think about it, and obviously like once you go see something like that, you're entranced by it a bit.
Sorry.
And then I am as like a Star Wars fan, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now I've thought about it and talked to a lot of people about it. It's just, it was clear to see that it was just like none of the films that Disney have really like planned out, like the sequel films, none of them have fit together.
No.
That
Well-
was the like, because if you watch, even if the prequels, which are worse than the sequels in my opinion,
Mhm.
that you
Yeah.
can tell they're planned.
Yeah.
And you could tell like there was an idea of what was going to happen, and everything is so. There's some good ideas that are thrown around, like, but everything was like planned out and made, and whether meticulously, and like
whether it being any good was another.
whether
thing.
it was whether the films were any good was they're not, but with the sequel trilogy it just kind of feels a bit like oh, we're going to make a Star Wars film.
Yeah.
Well, not to blame it all on one director, but the guy who made Last Jedi, Ryan Johnson, who's a very good filmmaker, probably wasn't the best choice to helm a Star Wars film. Like, he makes some really good films.
He made Knives Out.
Knives Out.
It's not
great.
for the uninitiated.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you're dealing with a franchise which you can give the fans any fucking shit, which has at least some of the main characters in, and they will love it.
Yeah.
There is an underlining biased opinion.
I'm gonna correct you on that, and I'm gonna say that the sequel trilogy are so unpopular with the fans.
They are.
They are really,
Well,
really
not being
unpopular.
a big fan myself, I wouldn't know.
Well, there has been a divide with pretty much every new Star Wars film of recent year, even
because
the awful spin-offs.
We go back to like the basis of it. Who are we trying to please? Like, there's always going to be someone who likes it and then someone who doesn't. But the problem is with Star Wars is if you don't, like, even the prequels are like debated, and like when nowadays, like, you have to have a sticker sign everything with the Star Wars films. And the problem is with the sequel trilogy is with that, because it had no planning, there was nothing madly diverse about it. Like, you look at some of the old like stories that it replaced in the continuity that they got rid of. They're so, like, not all of them were good, but they're so different and unique that they were kind of special. And then the sequel trilogy just kind of, even the aesthetic that the sequel trilogy is kind of just the original trilogy with extra bits. It doesn't feel like, whereas if you look at the prequel trilogy, it's so different with like the Clone Wars and the different tech and the different race aliens, and you see like this whole new side of stuff. The sequel trilogy kind of just feels like, oh, let's make a Star Wars film, and that's it. That's all they did in the planning room, when they should have sat down and meticulously planned out everything like George Lucas did. I'm not saying it's easy, but like your response, like, you're literally one of the biggest media corporations in the world. With Disney, handling one of the biggest franchises ever.
It's also a very fragile franchise, because it's got a lot of stuff riding on it. Yeah. When it comes down to, obviously, the fans. The fans that you got to deal with. I mean, we met some interesting characters when we went to the early premiere. Some proper fucking weirdos.
Yes.
They were weird.
There were some weirdos.
Anyone dressed up as Jedi?
Yes. There was a posse of people in costumes.
The Star Wars Mando.
And I couldn't quite figure out if they was serious or not.
Oh, they were serious.
Like, no, they just had this vibe of like, because they didn't put effort in their costumes, but they still went out and bought costumes anyway. So it's kind of like, are they taking the piss, or are they genuinely...
They were being genuinely serious. I mean, it's a bit like when we went to the Leicester Square screening with your father. He dressed up as Luke Skywalker.
My dad
did he actually?
Not... No, of course my dad did not dress up as Luke Skywalker.
That was actually quite an... So obviously,
that was a fun night.
We went to the sort of triple bill night screening. That by the time the last film came on, and we met Palpatine, Michael Whitehall. You know, I'd fallen asleep. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I had actually fallen asleep midway through the last film, and I remember. I think it was Will was next to me, and he woke me up and he said, "Oh, you're gonna like this bit. You're gonna like this bit. Wake up! Come on!" And I woke up, and it was the last. This has got spoilers in it.
Yeah, spoilers.
Skip to this time code.
It was the last. It was the last part where like everything mayhem's fucking happening, and all the Sith fucking Star Destroyers are all there, and they've got the bloody horses and stuff, and they're like riding on the main Sith Star Destroyer, and they're trying to like shoot the bridge, and I remember just being sat there and going, I have been asleep for the last 40 minutes, but yet I can still put all the pieces together to why we're here, because it is so predictable.
Yeah.
Not that that's all I'm saying is it's a pointless film.
Well, I mean, the rest of the film is essentially like you're watching a video game. It's a video game plot. You gotta
Yeah.
go to get
I
something
did
else,
find
to
like
get
the
something
sequel
else.
films are so exhausting with how they've always got to go somewhere.
Well,
we left.
I noticed that and I just thought, like, you won't watch any of the other films, and well, I suppose maybe the prequels in some degree,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're like, oh, now we've got to go to the planet with the weird little village thing,
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, we've got to go here now, and it's like, well, we've got to go to the festival place first, and then we've got to go here to get that translated, and then we've got to go here,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh my god, fucking slow down. Like, that's what
I fell asleep because
it's so, watching those films are genuinely taxing, and that's one thing I thought. I was like, oh my god, I'm so tired watching these films.
Yeah.
These are like Star Wars films. Like, they shouldn't tax you to watch a Star Wars film. You should be like,
it's tiring.
They also
like, put on any of the original trilogy. Like, oh,
well, yeah,
New
the
Hope. I've seen
original
it, like,
trilogy's running time is
8-9 times, and I've still like would watch it
yeah,
again.
it's so much more like
Yeah.
the running times are so much more less in the original trilogy. I personally I don't really like Return of the Jedi that much, but there's really great pieces in that film.
I don't know it, so
with the scene with Jabba.
Yeah,
that's great.
That whole bit.
That's
is
great.
just worth watching the whole
Your
film. Just
father.
that scene.
My father Jabba.
Jabba
And
the Hutt.
Spawn of so many jokes. Jabba the Hutt.
Yes.
Thank God they made him.
and like the final battle with the Emperor in that film is great.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
obviously it's the weakest of the three.
It's
but
the weakest
I've
of the
got
three.
a place in my heart.
I mean, I just want to talk about Palpatine because
Oh yeah, Palpatine.
I
go
mean, I
ahead.
don't know if anyone else noticed this when they watched it, but he is Michael fucking Whitehall.
Michael
I know.
Whitehall. Jack Whitehall's
I
dad.
was sat there. I was sat there, and I remember looking at the boys, and I went, "Is anyone else making this association? Or is it just me?" And it was just me. I was just watching this. I was watching this elderly man going. All I could see was him going, "Fucking hell, Jack! I'm not a bloody gay." And it was
The lightning thing is
Yeah.
genuinely one of the most funniest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
For context, I wasn't with the boys on this one. A few days afterwards, I pirated Rise of Skywalker, and I'm not ashamed in admitting that. Come on, Disney, arrest me,
I think, yeah, like
take me. I don't
I
care.
do. I'll tell you what. I do worry about the media monopoly and how. Basically, remember that game Agario where you were like the little ball?
the ball, yeah.
And it's just like that. It's like, by the time I'm grown up,
Well,
is everything going to be under one corporation?
when we first watched because obviously we did the triple bill, so that was what was that? What was the last one? What's the one that we just had?
Rise of Skywalker.
What number?
9.
9. So 7 and 8, and then 9.
Yeah.
It felt like we just watched a really long film
Yeah.
that lasted 6 hours or 7 hours,
Yeah.
and it was boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was boring. I'd say that I hadn't watched any of the other previous films. That was all I was like exposed to, I suppose, other than the prequels.
So you've seen all the bad Star Wars
Yeah,
films.
yeah, so I had a
that's
really
really,
bad
that's
outcome.
really, that keeps me up sometimes.
Wait, have
Thinking,
you
oh,
seen the
God.
prequels as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, you've seen the
Ooh.
prequels and the sequels, and he still hasn't seen the originals.
major.
But you won't watch.
oof.
You won't want to watch them, will you? I can't convince you, could I?
I can't be asked right now.
No.
I can't be asked.
You gotta watch A New Hope at least.
I
'cause
think-
Well,
that's
after
great.
seeing, was it Rise of Skywalker? That was the reason why. After seeing that twice,
I could
unwillingly.
Not, so I went to see it again. My dad and I planned to go see it again. With my mum went as well, and we were going to bring another one of my friends along with me, but they couldn't make it, and I got cancelled on basically. And then Luke just so happened to be round, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're seeing it in like an IMAX theater.
unless
And then so Luke's like, oh, I'll go, and I was like, I would have asked you, but I didn't think it was your thing. Like, you'd already seen it, and I didn't know you.
Yeah.
I know you didn't like it a lot, but he still went. So
Well,
I've seen it twice.
before you went, you rang me and you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to the IMAX tonight," and I was like, "But was Rise of Skywalker even shot in IMAX?" And we
Yeah,
looked it up, and it wasn't even shot in IMAX.
They didn't play it on. I don't think it was on.
Yeah.
no, it was a very small screen.
It was
fine, man.
really small screen. It
That
was
was
great.
that was the Odeon in Leicester Square.
Yeah.
Do you know what I've just realised? I can't see any biscuits.
Oh yeah,
Oh, no,
sorry
there's no
lads.
biscuits.
You didn't bring any.
I got a lift with Lana today, so
Oh
yeah, she went the wrong route, so I had to redirect her. Yeah.
Oh no.
no!
Shout out Lana.
Shout out. There's no biscuits here, right?
That's really depressing.
I know.
I was expecting you to rumble over to your bag and go yank out some sort of snacks.
I know.
We'll have to pause at one point, do an interval, and go to Raj's.
We will. That's a long way to go for some.
That is a long way, isn't it?
Why don't we pause and go to Luke's kitchen?
Yes, I might go and do that.
Yeah. We'll see you after these messages.
Actually, I could leave you lads here, and you can talk about Star Wars.
Star Wars. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then
it's basically just going to be
biscuits.
Alfie talking and me nodding and going, yeah.
I don't know. There's part of the sequel trilogy that I like, and then but at the same time, there's part of it that I just like Luke said. Some of the bits are really boring.
Yeah. And
that's the one thing I did notice when I watched 3 of them in a row. It was like, oh yeah, I forgot how long this film is. And it's even
Last
the
Jedi is really long.
Oh my god! And there's no need. This is a trend now that's happening. Films are so fucking long.
Yeah.
And the problem is I'm very picky. So if a film is not entertaining me, I will not care. You'll hate me for this, but I watched LA Confidential the other day.
Oh, right, yeah.
I found it the most boring film I think I've ever watched.
I mean,
I'm
not a big fan of LA Confidential.
Struggled with that film. I might have to rewatch it because I know it's good, but I really was really bored, and my parents were so annoyed because I was just on my phone
Well,
and I think the thing is the annoying thing is because the good thing about being in a cinema is you can't go on your phone.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to sit there and watch. And the first time I watched them, I didn't notice how long it was because I was involved, I was enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was, again, you have to wait. Every time you see something you're a big fan of, I have to wait. Yeah. And wait for the hype to go, and I have to talk to other people about it as well because, it's mixed bag. I found the Rise of Skywalker to be quite underwhelming.
When the first trailer came out for Rise of Skywalker, previously Force Awakens and Last Jedi, when I saw the trailers for those, I was like, I'm kind of excited.
Yeah,
I'll have really a bit of anticipation. But Rise of Skywalker, I just didn't care, and I don't know whether that was because of how Last Jedi was.
I just remember when Episode 7 was coming out, and I think I've ever been more excited in my life.
Yeah. And
the trailer came out, I was just rewatching it, oh my god,
yeah,
Star Wars is back.
It's so cool.
And it's so crazy because we've had and I just remember going in and thinking, oh my god.
Yeah.
It was good. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally all I wanted was for it to be good. And it was good. It's a good film.
Yeah.
Again, the sequel trilogy it's barely got an identity of its own.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit underwhelming. The concept of it is underwhelming. And even so I play Star Wars Battlefront 2 on my PlayStation. Yeah. And it's just the sequel trilogy is really boring compared to the whole the battles, compared to the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Where you're it's this, it's this really dry substance.
Yeah.
I've noticed with some of it's really interesting. Again, I liked Kylo Ren. I thought he was a great character.
Yes. Oh, he's got something. Quality Street. Spoiler alert, guys. Quality Street. I mean, it'll do. It's not a bicky, but...
Don't say that.
I'm not complaining at all.
But anyway, speaking of Star Wars video games... I played
Fallen Order.
Was
that any good?
Here we go.
Well, not to spoil anything, everyone, but the ending is dog shit, and it sort of renders everything you've done in the rest of the game as pointless.
Right.
And that made me hate it for that, because it's all building to something, a task you've got to do, and then the main characters in the end just go, you know what? Fuck it. And it's well, what have I played this for? What have I invested nearly 12 hours of my life into?
You waste a lot of time.
I do waste a lot of time, but I'm happy with some of the things I waste my time on because they're of good quality. And that just wasn't. So...
Right, let's stop talking about Star Wars now.
Enough of Star Wars.
Enough Star Wars.
Has anyone else noticed how they've started bringing out these metal tins again?
Have they?
What, the gold ones?
Yeah. Well, they started bringing the metal tins back.
Quite like the
I like the metal tins. It's because it's less plastic.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing, isn't it? Because I remember when they used to be
metal.
Sorry, I'm looking at a Quality Street tin. It reminds me of when I was younger.
God, we're old.
Do you remember? When we'll lock you in there.
Say what? What?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I think we've told this story before.
Have we told it before?
We might have done.
Maybe on the first one.
It might have been on the first one.
Well, let's save that for another time, just in case.
I'll leave you to like speculate. The audience.
Type in the comments what you
think Luke was threatening.
What
to
was
do.
what was Luke doing to Alfie?
When did this turn into like a quiche game show?
Exactly.
I haven't seen these ones before.
Oh yeah, those are caramel brownies.
I haven't seen these before.
It's basically like caramel with a bit of chocolate in it, but it does taste like caramel brownie.
That tastes pretty nice actually. Look at him sniffing.
They don't smell the same.
Well,
Did you know they have 5 tons of chocolate delivered twice a day to the factory that makes them?
fascinating.
I was watching Greg Wallace the other day.
Greg Wallace.
I can't remember what the show's called. It's called like Fatty Food.
Fatty foods.
Fatty Films Food.
People.
Oh no.
I don't know. It's called something like Fatty Goes to Find Food. What is it called?
Oh, fat. I was gonna say fat fighters, but
Your dad knows Greg Wallace, doesn't he?
Eat well for less.
I don't know, Greg. What? Eat well for less.
Ryan's dad knows Greg Wallace.
Is that when they?
Because he lives near Greg Wallace.
Is Eat well for less when they like go and like people shopping and they go like, oh, if you buy own brands, you can save 50p.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah,
can I have a rant? Sorry, about just how fucking shit TV is.
Yes.
And why does anyone watch TV?
I know.
We're not talking Netflix TV.
Not like
here.
like literal television. Okay, so you have like some good dramas that go on.
It's fallen apart.
But like, you just see some shit and you think, I sound so old, but like, who the fuck watches this? I don't know a single person who watches live TV anymore.
Is that
except
just
from,
because of your age?
There is that.
Yeah.
Tell you what though, last year I only watched one series on actual TV.
Yeah.
With my mum, called Years and Years.
Oh yeah.
It's really good. It's a satirical drama comedy about UK political system. It's really good. No one's
I'm not
talking
knocking
about
the
it.
drama.
Yeah.
Dramas and like scripted shows.
Oh, yeah,
Some of
yeah.
that's really good.
But
It's
like general live
daytime TV. Oh my god, they just play crap.
Yeah.
And like, no wonder the mediums. It's like,
What's that thing they show in Scotland? The one with the police.
Oh, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I see it every time I go up to Scotland. It's just on repeat.
What is it called?
A fucking
Scott Squad.
Scott Squad.
Is that it?
Scott Squad. That's it.
Is that it?
It's so fucking shit.
Is that it?
That's it. I like because I was in this hotel room when I went to Edinburgh 2 years ago. And I'm like, Scott Squad? Oh, what's this? I don't think I see this on is this like a procedural drama or something? And I go on it, it's just like some police pushing a naked old lady down the fucking stairs. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Legit, it was terrible. Don't watch Scott Squad.
Is that it? It's Scott Squad.
Scott Squad, that's definitely what it's called.
it's shit like there's so much shit about fucking antiques. I'm sorry. There is so much shit.
Going down to the antique
it's like
shop
weird
to
like
find
old
himself
perverts
a
going,
new-
oh, you could get 90 quid for that little vase. Fucking Janice is going to buy that off you. Oh, brilliant. It's just clutter and shit. Like, I don't guess it.
Bargain Hunt is the worst one.
Oh my god.
Well, you've got a load of crap in your house at the moment, so you must really be watching
You
that
could
all
go on
day.
Antiques Roadshow, Alfie. And then
Let me tell you.
They'd pull up the footage of this podcast and be like, what
I
have
don't
you
know
said?
I don't know how I can go into much because it's like family stuff, but
No, it's fine.
my granddad. Well, yeah. So we've got a family member who's a bit of a hoarder. And he doesn't live in his house anymore, so we are moving, like decluttering it, and we are taking stuff, sorting through it. What's crap? What is like stuff we can actually use? Because there is like it's in
Batteries as batteries.
fucking It's shit like it's like batteries, cleaning stuff that is actually kind of useful and would probably save us money to buy.
You'll probably find a lot of those batteries are dead though.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
You'd be genuinely surprised. I went through some of them and was like, these are all like charged.
Oh, fair enough.
But no, and I just like there's like so many like China frogs.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He has this weird collection with China frogs.
If you've ever seen Derek, you'll know that when they were doing a jumble sale, they what's his name?
Kev?
The Carl's character.
Dougie. Yeah, Dougie.
Dougie throws away Derek's China frog, which he ends up buying back, and he goes, "We got two of these China frogs. I got two of them. I got a friend. I found a friend at the jumper shop. I found another one. I got another one. So you're singing together. So I got a friend. And I remember watching that, and then I went to yours. I was at yours the other day, and I see all these frogs, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Draw that connection.
So I don't mind it there because Ricky Gervais is fucking genius, and he makes me care about the China frogs.
Yeah,
you should stick them all in your room.
Imagine that. Imagine my girlfriend coming back and she's like, "Why is this just loads of frogs staring right at my bed?" Oh no. And they're everywhere. These bloody frogs. And I don't know why they're in my house now. But they are. And I just see them all the time. There's so many. And so yeah, some of the shit's probably worth a bit of money. Like we found some cool shit.
The vases.
Sorry?
You got the vases, haven't you?
They're quite good.
Well, can I just say...
There's also a weirdly ton a lot of frogs, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, linking that to Ricky Gervais and Carl and that, linking that back to the amount of shit on TV. Sick of It is back on TV.
Isn't it this Saturday?
It's already out on
Sick of It.
Now
What's
TV.
That?
Is it?
It's Cole Pilkington's comedy drama he's made.
It's Carl.
It's great.
It's just Carl. It is Carl.
It's really sad in bits. It's really funny.
Have you watched it?
I haven't watched the new series yet, but
is it good?
Oh, it's amazing. It's pretty great.
The first series is really good.
It's really good. But I was just on TV this morning and I saw, oh my god, Sick of It 2's out on Now TV. I can just binge watch the whole thing.
It's a very clever show.
It's very clever.
It's nothing. There's nothing sort of about it that sort of screams
like Ricky or anything.
No, it's
very
Carl's
separate.
show.
Yeah.
It's Carl's show, and there's nothing that sort of screams like it's had any other outside interferences. Someone else did write it though, didn't they?
Well, he co-wrote it with someone. Like
That's
Carl
right.
did a lot of the comedy, and the other guy helped a lot with story.
I mean, Carl's just funny because he's blatantly just aggravated all the time.
Yeah. But Sick of It 2's out. I'm excited for that. So that's a good thing.
I thought you were going to talk about the Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes.
Oh my god! I think
that was good.
I've watched that Golden Globes sketch. It must have been like 6 times now.
Yeah.
Like, I've just rewatched it.
I think every time I've watched it, I've noticed little things. Like each time I've watched it, like the first 3 times I watched it, I was laughing my head off.
Yeah.
And obviously, once you've seen it a few times, you know what happens.
Yeah.
And I think about the 4th or 5th time I watched it, I started to notice when I wasn't laughing.
There's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of silence in the room, though. Like he had a tough crowd. Like they were a tough.
Tom
crowd.
Hanks scrunching his face up like Kermit the Frog.
I noticed that.
He really didn't like it, but
I think it's really hard because I think Ricky's quite disliked by a lot of the sort of Hollywood scene.
Yeah,
because he is everything that isn't Hollywood.
And also I've noticed, because I go a lot on Twitter and I read a lot of stuff I follow a lot of film related accounts, and a lot of people there are like, oh, fucking Ricky Gervais dissing all of our favourite idols. Ooh. And he's not targeting like specific ones they mention, but they just take it as that. And like Ricky can like define who's different. And also there was a lot of I saw this on when I searched like Ricky Gervais Golden Globes on Twitter. A lot of right wing people like Piers Morgan and all these like Trump supporters are being like, yeah, go on, Ricky. Take those Hollywood elitists down. It's like, no, that's not what he's trying to do.
That's not his intentions. He's not there to be like, oh, they're just like, they're not. He's not trying to insult.
Yeah, he's just poking a bit of fun.
He's just picking where it hurts, and it works because it's not. Yes, it might be offensive to some people, but he's not trying to make enemies.
Yeah.
No.
So I mean, his comments about Apple's methods in China Probably wasn't the best thing to bring up for Tim Cook's first Golden Globes, but he deserved it.
I think it needs to be said.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
it does.
What Ricky Gervais is great at is why these scripts are amazing.
Yeah,
it's just finally we've got someone. It feels like we've got someone on the other side.
Yeah.
Well, we all know this, and but we can't go into the Golden Globes.
Well, the way he said it, I watched this thing and it said he was like, well, the way I look at it is I'm that fat guy who sits at home and watches the Golden Globes and says all this stuff, but I actually get to go say it to their faces.
That's why he's great.
Yeah.
We're all thinking it. We're all thinking, oh, he's a nonce. Like they're all mates with bloody Epstein or whatever.
Class.
Like because they all are, aren't they? Fucking hell. Like
what do you mean, Weinstein
and whatever.
CK.
And then
oof. And Ricky used to know him now, but he's outwardly like insulted like Louis in his live shows and stuff.
Old Spacey.
Bloody Prince. What is
Andrew.
It?
Andrew. Yeah, that was pretty. Oof.
Yeah, that was a comment which was quite brash.
Yeah.
There was some things which I did think, I think that's not. I'm not trying to be one of those Twitter people who say, "Oh, Ricky's a really offensive. He's a bastard." All I'm saying is like there was some things that he said which were like, okay, that's. He says the things which other people won't, which I respect, but at the same time I think, okay, that was.
Read the room.
Yeah, like look around kind of thing.
I disagree. I think that's why he's.
That's why he's great, but sometimes I don't know.
Well, it did feel in parts, as much as I loved all the shade he threw, there were like people in there that like I respect, which was like, but like maybe they might interpret it as like targeted at them.
Yeah, I mean. You know, Joe Pesci, he was laughing at the mini Baby Yoda joke.
Yeah, and so was Scorsese.
Yeah,
like,
Scorsese. What was the comment he made towards Scorsese?
He says,
he's like, you shouldn't be what are you doing hanging around theme parks anyway? You can't get on the ride.
Yeah,
and he found that funny. He was like, it's true.
Yeah, you can see it. Like, yeah, it's true. You know, it's true.
I love Marty.
Or is it we've got a short clip of The Irishman. It's only 8 minutes long. I thought that was great. I finished that, by the way.
It's a good,
good,
bloody good film.
That was my film.
I'm gonna
say for a while.
I thought the CGI aging was crap. I thought it was.
Well, I did. When you look at how old fucking Robert De Niro is now,
but I've seen a video where someone did it way better.
Yeah.
I've seen that, like the deep fakes thing.
Well, it's Light and Industrial. No,
Magic.
Light and Industrial Magic.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
It was.
I kind of had to go. Just got to sit through it.
I mean, I didn't mind it, but I think the one scene
I just put up with it for the stories.
Yeah.
I thought the rest of it was a great film.
So
it was a really good film. But
that ending.
I do think,
that fucking ending so tragic, and
How
it's
does
like
it end again.
Well, spoilers. So essentially, in the end, he does kill Jimmy Hoffa.
That's right. Yeah.
And then essentially, everyone gets arrested for suspicion of murder, but they don't know it is Frank.
Yeah.
And essentially, from that point on, his daughter, who really, really liked Frank, knows that. I remember that. It was him, and so he's only got one daughter.
Yeah, of course.
Whoever goes to see him. And his life just becomes this.
He's a very lonely.
This lonely, slow pace of waiting to die.
Well, he's the last of the mob.
Yeah,
he's the last one.
And I think this is kind of
because there's that bit where he's just like, if you want any questions, just talk to my attorney.
Yeah.
The guy who's like plays Everybody Loves Raymond, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this
talk to Raymond or whatever. It's like they're all dead. Like you're the only one there. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's quite ironic though. Well, not ironic. I think it's interesting because I feel like. You know, Scorsese sort of started the whole gangster films and all of those, along with Robert De Niro, and I feel like this is their way. This will definitely be Robert De Niro's last gangster movie.
Oh yeah,
where he's playing.
Well, you won't get any of those three in the same film ever again, like Chino, Pesci.
I mean, when you watch Goodfellas, that's a flawless film.
Yeah.
And I do think that
I think this could be flawless, but obviously some of the effects and that.
I mean, when it's 3 hours long, you got
but that's why I love what I love about it is like it gives you time to like really get to know the characters.
I think you let the CGI slip away.
Yeah.
And just let it
my
assist
parents
your vision.
literally couldn't watch it because of CGI, they stop watching it.
Yeah.
It's the same subject when Pesci calls him kid.
Oh yeah.
And even I was like how long are they supposed to be here? Because they look 60 until they don't, and they're 80.
Well, they used a camera system they called it the three-headed monster.
The three-headed monster, yeah.
Which had 2 Arri Alexa minis on the side, which were filming infrared, so they could get the facial expressions of the characters. And then the main camera was a red. I don't know what it was exactly. And they used that to build a 3D image from the few different angles they had of their faces. And I believe it was a pretty taxing task, because sometimes they had to have up to 9 cameras on the set at once to film Pesci, Al Pacino, and
De Niro.
Yeah. And it was a real task. They had to redesign like camera rigs and stuff, like jibs and stuff. They had to change them, to modify them to take these.
But at the end of the day, the result, it could have been done so much better, and that's a really gutting thing.
I think that's unfair to pull the film apart because of that.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, I watched the fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I watched the whole thing, and I thought it was good. My parents literally couldn't watch it. They just turned it off. They just thought it was ridiculous.
And your dad does like gangster movies.
Yeah, which shocked me, because he's kind of a big fan of that sort of stuff. So no, I pursued onwards. I did not watch it all in one sitting. I watched it whenever I could. I don't have the sort of time.
Well, there's actually a thing online, a chart
method,
of how to break it down.
Turn it into a mini series, yeah. But I mean, it was a good way to like start like pressing this technology forward, because like,
well,
where else are you going to start?
It was like what they said to Light and Industrial Magic is they were like, oh, we don't know if this can be done. But then they said, well, we didn't think Jurassic Park could be done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they did all the CG for that, so
they do all the Star Wars stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's the Lucasfilm company. But I just think I don't know, I watched this video, and one thing that really put you off, and you don't notice it until you see it, is the pupils.
Oh,
so
right.
the pupils of the eyes are really saturated.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the big, and some of the wrinkles aren't wrinkled out, but that's the big thing, is the eyes.
I think they got a bit lazy.
I think they did,
because they had so much to cover, and obviously Netflix are going, come on, we want this.
Yeah.
Like, they've spent a lot of money on this. They want results, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think Light and Industrial Magic were stressed to get this, like, the CG turned around. It was a big undertaking.
Yeah. But then again,
it would have been done better with more time. But
yeah,
they delivered. I watched it. I enjoyed the film. I thought the film was great.
Story was great.
Yeah.
I
All the
liked the story.
characters. Jesse Plemons from
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. He was really great in it. A brief role, but still
What was
really
he
cool.
in that?
He was just a quick...
Yeah, just a quick little character.
I didn't know.
Ginger, tubby guy.
Yeah, the fat guy. You know, he plays... he drives the...
Oh,
he drives the El Camino.
the fat one. He's like he plays Hoffa's adopted son, isn't he?
Yes.
That's the role,
Yeah. Al Pacino is just so good in this. It's the most alive I've seen him in anything like this century.
Yeah.
For sure.
It
Even
was
De
good, it was
Niro.
good. I mean, I think De Niro just looked at it. He thought, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to go all out, and we're just going to make this, the best
Thing possible.
thing
Yeah.
that we can, because I think he's coming to the end of his life, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So he's running out of time.
Yeah.
How old is De Niro?
He's like
80.
late 70s, I think.
He's 80, isn't
He's
he?
verging on 80. But and Pesci, I mean, he's like late 60s. He's got a bit more left on him, but he's just retired now anyway. So
I know why your parents didn't like it, because basically what they said is, when they were trying to think about how to make them look younger, they don't look like what they looked like when they were younger.
No.
Because they said they were going to try and like recreate a different version of them younger.
But
Because there's loads of different versions of De Niro as a young person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were also trying to make it look like the actual people in real life, like the real Jimmy Hoffa, the real Frank Sheeran.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's not easy.
well,
I
talking.
think
Yeah.
it's still a good film.
It's
I
really
enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good film.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was a good Scorsese.
There was
film.
never a point where I went, oh my god, this is 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it breezes by.
I sort of went, oh wow, this is a film.
I don't think it lives up to the kind of Scorsese amazingness.
I think he has a little bit. Scorsese has a little bit more character and a little bit more artistic spin on his films, and I feel like The Irishman, probably because of just how long it was, felt like it was just trying to chronicle the journey more instead of going,
well, there we go.
I
was at times lost. I was like, oh my god, where are we
no,
going back?
I was completely lost in some parts of it. I thought, oh my god, this is so long.
During
I kind of just went, I don't care if I'm going to look lost, I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is, and I
you just
kind of got
it and it all comes back.
I understood the ending as to why Hoffa was whacked.
Yeah,
I get that, because he started getting Larry and was loud, and he needs to shut up.
He started to get flashy,
and it's like, oh, I can tell what I want.
It's like in Goodfellas. It's like, don't get flashy, don't get showy, don't buy anything, don't go out tonight. Exactly.
He was starting to get a bit. And he was like starting to speak his mind a bit too much.
Yeah, like that. So they got whacked. But the thing with the mob, they say this in all
now we're gonna get whacked.
Is that you don't know if you're on the inside if you're gonna get whacked or not until you get whacked.
Yeah.
So they continue to act like your best mates.
Yeah, exactly.
Until they whack you.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the mob was a real thing.
Yeah, I know.
And it was fucking dominant. Like they
amazing
were
to think. I mean, who knows? We don't know, do we?
Oh yeah.
How much control and influence they have.
Yeah. Nah, I'm all right. I'm trying to lay off.
Yeah. It is.
Oh wait, there's an orange crunch. Oh well. Yeah. So that's The Irishman, but linking this back to Scorsese's works, Robert De Niro, someone who's ripped Scorsese off, but in a kind of tasteful way. Let's talk about Joker, directed by Todd Phillips. I'd kind of like you guys to say your piece on it first, because I'm quite interested. I mean, I know what Luke's opinions are on it, but I'm interested to see what you think, Alfie. I saw your review on Letterboxd.
I did enjoy it. I can barely remember my review on Letterboxd. I'm gonna watch it.
It was a big 5 stars. I did see
it was a 5 stars. Let me have a look, because I don't.
Well, while you're there, you might want to have a look at my rating, because it'll come up below. I think.
Did I actually write a review?
I don't think it was a review. I think it was just a rating. But Luke wrote a hefty review on it, as he normally does.
I know Luke was a fan. I can't find it. Wi-Fi slow, but no, I went to see it, I sort of was. I guess I didn't know what I was going to see.
Yeah.
Basically, because I sort of think, oh my god, like where could this go? Like I found it was more attached to the kind of Gotham fictional DC world than I thought it would be.
Yeah, sure.
I thought it would be way off.
Yeah.
And again, spoilers for the Joker.
Spoilers for Joker. Everyone's probably seen it by now.
I think everyone's seen it in all of the films that we've talked about by now.
Yeah.
But I thought, oh, they're not going to do anything DC related, and then suddenly they bring out the Waynes, and I was like, oh God, wow, okay, so this is a real DC thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they did Batman's origin story, which I liked. I thought that was smart.
Right.
That was quite clever. I enjoyed that. I was like, that's cool. And then, like, I don't know. I think when I left, I was really impressed, and I thought, oh wow, that was a really good film. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Well, I sort of liked it a lot. I really liked it at first. I gave it like a 4 on Letterboxd, and I had the same sort of feeling you did when I came out. I was like, that was actually really good for a DC film.
Well, I didn't see it as a DC film. I sort of went, this isn't a DC film. This is something else. This is just like, they called it a character study, didn't they?
They were saying that, yes.
So I just sort of went, okay, this is going to be a film to see, and I'm not going to try and go, like, I'm going to enjoy all of the DC references, but I know nothing's going to come from this. I know it's not going to be like a blockbuster. It's not going to be anything that we're used to. And so I sort of went, okay, let's just see what this is on a regular films level. And I genuinely liked it. I didn't make any allowances or exceptions.
But I think the thing is, for me, as time went on, like, because I had that thing as well, like, it's like, oh yeah, this is like a proper, like, sort of like, I won't say art house, but like, like proper great film inspired by like a lot of Scorsese's early works. King of Comedy, which is his best film by far. It takes the most influence from that.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it.
It's great. It's amazing. And Taxi Driver, obviously.
I'm about halfway through that.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I'm bothered. Yeah.
But
I will attempt it.
but when
it's long. It's long. Like
imagine,
yeah.
But when comparing it to those films and the amount of just great character building and use of dialogue in it, it falls so short.
I think this is what your problem is, though, because me and Alfie haven't seen both. Obviously, Alfie's halfway through.
Obviously,
that one.
yeah.
But we don't have that to compare it to. I obviously know that it's got those foundations, but we haven't seen those to
compare
to reinterpret it. And I just I just sort of kept an open opinion. It's, you know, Joker was cinematically a nice. It looked good.
Yeah, technically
really
it's
nice.
amazing.
Technically, it was really good. The dialogue was poor.
Dialogue is shit. It's fucking dreadful.
You know,
and like Joaquin Phoenix, don't get me wrong, he gives his all.
Actor.
He gives his all in this,
but
he's got so much shit to work with, and like you can tell he's struggling sometimes, especially spoilers for when he kills Moray live on TV. The dialogue in that scene is just atrocious.
I don't know how many times they had to be able to do that take, because obviously Murray's head is splashed, so they've obviously got to reset the set. I don't know how much time they had to do that, but it just came across as slightly amateur.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, it didn't come across as, oh, you know, we know what we're doing. It came across as like, this was written. It felt improvised.
When I watched it, I was like, "Oh my god, what's happening now?" It was like this sort of like the film went from like and my girlfriend mentioned this actually because she went to watch it with me. And she's like, it was a really slow drawn.
It was a slow burner.
Slow burner, like you could slowly see this guy turn. Like it wasn't like a, "Hey, I'm crazy now. I'm the Joker. I'm the Joker."
What's his name again in the film?
Quentin Beck? No, it's
Arthur
Fleck.
Arthur
Fleck. Quentin Beck's Roald Dahl's illustrator, isn't he? That's it. Arthur Fleck. So you see this guy going slowly getting shat on, basically spit on, just like trying not.
Well, he says in that short little monologue before he kills Murray, he says, "You want to know what you get."
Oh no!
You want to know what you get when you get a mentally ill loner who's rejected by society and treated like trash? You get what you fucking deserve.
Worst line of the year.
I do think that was a really shit line.
It's a terrible
and I just thought
that's one for the incels right there.
It was like quite when he suddenly went and shot Murray. I was like, oh, like, do you know what I mean? Like it whiplash all of a sudden.
But
like, what the fuck is happening now?
That's the thing for me.
It was like, okay, this is suddenly turned into something not what it was.
I feel like they cheaped out and they just went for a bit of a thrill factor.
Literally ended with him going on camera, and I thought that would have been an interesting
it would be more poignant for sure.
Yeah.
But the way I thought, I was thinking throughout the whole film, he's just going to kill Murray. Like, what else can he do?
Well, you look at the way that he looks at Murray. You look at the way he's almost got a bit of a man crush.
Yeah, and then there's that point in the film where Murray gets the clip of his stand-up routine and makes fun of him. And it's like, well, of course he's going to kill him. Like,
he's a mentally ill loner. He's rejected by society and treated like trash.
I did think, oh god, like you're hamming it up a bit at that point.
And also,
well, when I left there, I was on
at the same time,
you're on a high.
I was on a high because I was left with something which I was satisfied with. You know, I was my closest comparison because it wasn't made traditionally like a DC film.
Yeah.
My closest comparison to this was Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight.
And that was purely because of like the characters and the aesthetic.
Yeah, which I love.
Oh, those films are amazing.
Those films are better than any fucking Marvel or DC or any superhero shit you could create because they're real. It's gritty, and obviously Christopher Nolan, what a legend. He pulled those films
Made
off.
your favourite films ever, didn't he?
I do love Chris.
No, Ryan.
Oh.
He made your favourite film ever. Inception.
Inception.
I like Inception. I still
love
don't know
that
what you
film.
mean.
That's a controversial opinion
love
for another
that
day.
film.
I'll tell you what.
If we're gonna have a debate on
film
Inception,
I'm
I
not-
want Oscar in here with me because
No,
he can back
he's
me
not
up.
gonna-
a film I'm not
No.
madly keen on
Go on.
by him was Interstellar.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
I know you're not keen on this one.
see, this is the one
Again,
I really like.
I was like,
Yeah.
it's just it was at the 57th Murph. I just thought, oh god.
Mouth.
And it was
Marathon.
like the music, like, okay, so I remember the music.
God,
thinking,
Hans has done a lovely job on all of the Chris films.
I think
Yeah.
so, but at the same time, none of them stick to my mind except for the one where he just sounds like he fell asleep on his organ. Like,
Ooh.
that was
remember the one
that-
where he was like,
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna call you out on that one. But you said the same thing after we watched Blade Runner 2024.
Yeah,
2049.
I changed my mind about Blade Runner though.
Have you?
Yeah, I mean, I like the film. I've changed my mind about music because it worked.
It did, yeah.
It worked, and
It was a
I
good
stand corrected. I think it's because I was tired and it's a slow film, and I was like, oh god, the last thing I need is this.
I mean,
really
the thing
low...
with Christopher Nolan films is you know what you're gonna get. I'm not saying that he's.
You get what you
predictable.
fucking deserve.
God,
No,
it's
but you-
almost like you're a mentally ill loner.
You are rejected by some. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh.
No, I think with
You want to hear another joke, Luke?
Yeah, I think the thing that you got to expect with Chris is you kind of know what you're going to get. I'm not saying that his films are predictable. I'm saying they follow a certain pattern, don't they?
Yeah.
They did that. I love them, but they do follow a pattern.
And that being said, Tenet looks really
Shit.
really shit.
And I'm a big Chris fan.
I haven't seen any trailers or anything. I just saw the text going
Yeah.
around at the cinema,
Oh yeah.
and that's all I thought. I thought,
Yeah, no.
okay, that's interesting.
I wasn't sold on the trailer.
Reverse. So the whole film's in reverse.
Well,
Great.
I feel like it. Okay, I don't know if any of you two have seen Memento.
Oh yeah, I've seen Memento.
Well,
I haven't seen anything.
But that's really clever because that
yeah.
plays with structure.
Yeah, I
That's
think
really
the
clever.
interesting. I think the way I put it is I think Inception and Memento are very close in the idea of what they are.
Sure, yeah.
They're very similar.
But the thing is, Inception uses spectacle over using it as a way to tell the story. Like, sure, they use it sometimes,
It's so good.
but it's
so good.
But with Memento,
it's multi-dimensional.
no. But Memento's so much more
and
clever.
it left when it first came out. It left audiences going, "What the hell was that?" You do have to watch Inception at least twice.
You do have to see it twice, but I'd say that's almost a flaw because the first time I watched Inception, I had no idea what the fuck was happening.
Yeah, it's confusing, and that is
I
where
thought,
the
oh,
plot fell away.
Yeah, like
But-
the visuals are, of course, stellar,
Yeah,
and I thought the
film, isn't it?
Well, I'm not knocking the film for
No,
its
no,
technical
but-
attributes,
no.
but that film's got Joker level dialogue. I gotta say.
I disagree.
I don't remember the dialogue.
I disagree because Leo plays a great main lead. Main
I don't think the dialogue's that bad.
Well,
I think
Leo,
it's
I
good.
think
It's
Leo
pretty-
suffers
it's
the
standard.
same sort of thing that
No, I
that
disagree.
Joaquin did.
Leo's made some. Leo is overrated in many ways, but at the same time, he's when you reflect on the stuff that he's done, in his career, he is a very good actor.
He's very good.
He's a
yes.
very. I mean, Titanic was a flop. That can just.
Well, it wasn't a flop. It was like
It
the
was
most.
the third biggest.
Yeah.
No,
Third
but
grossest
no, but
film
what
of
I'm
all
saying
time.
is
It's a bad film.
it's just shit.
But every film James Cameron's made is bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think it's really hard for someone like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's been in it for the long run. You know What's Eating at Gilbert Grape. That film is great, and that was a young Leo. But he's had this talent for years. He's knocking on nearly 50 now,
Yeah.
Boy now.
and he
Still
has
sleeps about though, doesn't he? He
Yeah,
doesn't stop him.
he's-
Still has his
has-
antics.
Yeah.
such a way. He will be a Robert De Niro one day.
Oh yeah.
An old
Yeah.
Robert De Niro. He will be making a film. Do you know what I mean? He's gonna because you get I think it's like 10 stages of Leonardo. You've got the young Leo, you've got the 20s Leo, you've got the 30s Leo, you've got the 40s, etc. You get the point.
Yeah. Shout out to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not his best
Well,
film.
that's
but
what I mean. I think that's more of a. He looks like he's in his 40s film.
Yeah.
That's one of his 40s films, is what I call them. So
Yeah.
you break them down into different sections of his career, and it shows with his acting ability. You know, you look at how he's changed, and as much as you knock Inception, I do believe that his role and in his action
Yeah, sure. It's
was flawless.
it's a significant part of his career.
I mean, you seem to think that the dialogue was bad, and I don't.
Well,
agree.
I don't pin that on him though.
No, obviously because he didn't write it, but I don't agree with you on that because I think, yes, it might have been bad, in your opinion, but you've got to look past that and look at the story that it told.
Fair enough.
It's very much like, I mean, the whole thing about Inception is it's all very much like, oh, look nostalgically off to the left. That's Inception. It's dreamy.
Yeah.
That's the look they were going for. So
Yeah.
you might think, oh, that's shit. That's not. But I think I still stand by it, and I know I don't understand why you don't like it. But obviously, people are different.
Maybe one day we'll have to do one where I rewatch Inception.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Interstellar.
I don't have the.
No.
Interstellar
drive
was
to.
another great film.
Interstellar.
I mean, I do have a little bit of a bias against.
I think you've
Christopher.
got a bit of a fucking hard on for
Yeah.
Nolan.
Despite the fact that you are calling Tenet shit.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
And the one that you really seem to hate, which I quite like.
Oh,
I don't love
I
it,
hate
but I
Dunkirk.
quite like it.
I hate
Dunkirk. Dunkirk's
It is-
pretty good.
No, I don't like it.
You don't like Dunkirk?
I don't like it at all.
Why not?
It is the shittest Christopher Nolan film he's ever made.
No, it's not.
Yes.
What's the one he did with
Why
Robin
don't
Williams?
I-
That one's the worst one.
Why don't
remember
you
that.
like?
A few of my criticisms is that when the Dunkirk, when they're all on that beach, there was thousands more soldiers on that beach, and I know that his whole ethos is we shoot film, we don't do CGI. But
Yeah.
if that's the case, go all out, get the
Yeah.
extras. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
True.
People will, you could have got people to do that. It wouldn't have been impossible.
He did have a very large budget.
I don't understand why if you're not going to use CGI, then fucking do it right the first time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So fill that beach with people.
I do see your point there, and it's the planes as well. There's only one plane.
And also,
It's like there's one
this is
plane for like
this is the other thing.
Tom Hanks, not Tom Hanks, Tom Hardy was.
Yeah.
in.
Oh yeah.
I
It's like this one dude. I'm like, come on, there's more than that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm no historian,
But
but
I also
thought
watched.
there must have been more than one fighter jet.
Yeah, I mean, I
and
watched
Spitfire.
this thing where it was like, in reality, he wouldn't have. They worked out that he wouldn't have had enough fuel to do all the trips that basically someone worked it out that the amount of time that he spent in the air with the film, in retrospect, he wouldn't have had enough fuel.
Yes.
There was
Yes, that is true.
there was three plots going on at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had what was going on at the beach, the small fishermen people,
Yeah.
and then what was going in the skies.
Mm.
And they were all going on at once, and this is what annoyed me about the plot, is nowhere, yes they did intersect, but there was nowhere where it was like, okay, it felt like I was watching three different films at once. I don't know what the best way to put it is, but
Yeah.
it was confusing because it's like, this is all one film, and I can't empathise with this character because he's got no association to this.
Well, we have now got 1917, which is basically Dunkirk too.
I
So
fucking hate Sam Mendes.
I mean,
Like, okay. Actually,
yeah,
no.
true.
I take back that when it comes down to
Skyfall.
That was
good.
that was one of the best.
But he has
Daniel
made
Craig.
some shit.
Yeah, but that was one of the best Daniel Craig Bond films, without a doubt.
Well-
He's good because he actually makes Bond good.
And there's
Like,
it's not
like do you
there's a whole story.
like James Bond? Like, okay, so you have some good ones, but at the same time, it's like, oh.
But
God,
out of the
like, you know what I
4
mean?
Daniel Craig Bond films, like only 2 of them are good.
Well, Casino Royale.
Casino Royale.
Casino Royale is one of my favourite films.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but-
genuinely love that
But
film.
the one thing about Casino Royale that you notice is that it feels like we have the casino bit, then we have the bit in Venice, and then it's like, oh, that was it. Whereas in Skyfall, it's like London, sort of this abandoned island, and then it's like, whoa, all these things are happening. We're in Hong Kong, and it's like, but there's it's all linked.
Yeah.
And it feels like we're getting so much more story, and then we've got Scotland. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really liked because obviously this was what's her name? Who was the woman who played
Oh,
Judi Dench. This was her last Bond film,
Yeah.
and as M, and I really liked.
She's a great M.
I really liked her a lot, and I really liked the fact that Sam Mendes gave her a real send off.
Yeah.
Like she had a
Because
whole.
obviously she
there was a whole plot.
She was in more Bond films and the Daniel Craig ones, wasn't she? She was in the
Pierce
Pierce
Brosnan
ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
God, I will never understand the James Bond.
The James Bond franchise is for another day. But going back to Sam Mendes.
Sam Mendes, 1917.
I haven't seen it yet.
I would quite like to watch it.
I do want to see it.
I want to see it. A friend of mine went to go see it the other day, and they were raving about it. They've talked about is
one take fake out.
One take fake. I mean, the last time we saw this was Birdman. Most recent, I should say. Sorry, not the first.
Well,
there was what's it called a couple years ago.
Well, there was one that was actually shot in one take. It's a German film called I'm pretty sure it's called HEARNE, which is really good.
Well, the whole thing about one take look of a film is you've got to be really clever about where you put your camera.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be changing all the time.
Yeah.
So to make something look interesting, you can't cut to a different angle.
But that's one thing I'm skeptical about is that from the trailer it all seems either from the left, from the right, or centre.
I'm skeptical we're not going to get any visual emotion.
Yeah, yeah.
My thoughts are that it's going to be very bland and bleak.
Well, a lot of people I follow on Letterboxd are mostly giving it just 3.5s at the moment, so I can't expect that mine will be very different from theirs.
There's some neat little hidden transitions there. There's a one I haven't seen it, but I've seen this breakdown. And there's a one little neat one where he jumps off a wall and he jumps into a river. That was clever. And there's discrete cuts, which like exactly the same as they do in Birdman. Something will walk in front of the camera, and then it gives them a chance to cut. The use of because obviously this is Roger Deakins is a DP. He is a very talented cinematographer. Well,
he did Blade Runner.
He did
2049.
Yeah, exactly. And what's it called? The other one.
The other one.
I can't remember. But
he's done loads.
He's a very talented DP. Obviously, this would have been his idea, along with Sam Mendes. Because as much as I knock Sam Mendes, and I don't know why, but I just have this grudge against him.
I think it's just the films he chooses to make are all fairly they're all action. They're all action.
I don't like that.
What else has he made?
He did Skyfall. I'm pretty sure he did some bullshit ass King Arthur thing. Which no, that was Guy Ritchie. No, he did what's the name? The Sword and the Stone guy. What's the name?
King Arthur.
King Arthur. He did that. That was quite bad.
Oh, wasn't that with the bloke from Vikings?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And I'm pretty sure he's done some other stuff, but they're all fairly just based
It's
low.
got David Beckham in.
Yeah, it's got David Beckham in it.
That's what I remember.
Really dreadful.
Oh no.
But yeah.
Oh. No,
Sam Mendes isn't a bad person.
He's not a bad person.
Sam Mendes.
He's just tarnishing his life's work.
He looks a little bit like James Murphy from LCD Sound Systems.
Yeah, but James Murphy's
We
great.
love James Murphy though.
Yeah.
We don't knock him. He's
bringing it down on Sam Mendes.
I know.
I've watched some of the behind the scenes. They're quite. What they did is I like because it's got a Chris factor to it. Yes, I know I'm bringing Chris back into this.
No more Chris.
But it's practical effects.
Yes.
It's all done like in reality.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, they've dug a 14-mile trench.
Yeah.
Literally. Sure. They've made a burnt down village. I respect it because they're not CGIing it.
Yeah, sure.
They're doing
one
it
thing about
how
CGI
it
is it ages worse than practical effects.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really does look bad.
Over time, because it moves so quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I think CGI should be used for is technical assistance.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is Mad Max Fury Road. They use CGI to enhance practical effects like flames, to remove safety wires.
Yeah.
And just things like that. Everything else, other than some of the really wide, vast shots where all the cars are driving across the desert,
there's nothing
which
wrong
are
with
imposed.
that.
But I'm not going to knock it for that, because obviously you can't physically create a sandstorm.
No.
You will have to CGI that because Mother Nature isn't tameable. But other than that, that was the best use of CGI, is to just use it to
enhance, and not
not
make it the
to
focus.
not to make that the main source.
Fair enough.
I think that's my personal opinion on CGI there.
Going all the way back from 1917 to Joker. what are our final ratings on it? Because like obviously
Oh,
you
God,
boys,
I gave
you
it
boys rated it.
after I left the theatre. I gave it. Did I give it a 5?
I think
gave it
I gave it a 4.5.
You you downgraded it. To
No,
a
I gave it a
4.5.
4.5.
But
I still, I would put it to a 4.
Yeah.
I think
I'm going to put it to a 4.
because it's when on reflection, it's not the like when I compare it to Heath Ledger's Joker, I think Joaquin Phoenix didn't do as good a job.
but that's not his fault.
That's not and it shouldn't. It's not the same film, and they shouldn't be compared.
No,
But-
they're really different films.
But at the same time, I think because you have a preception,
Yeah.
prejudgment of what you're going into to see. I think it plays a big part
Yeah.
in your final outcome. So I will give it a 4.
I mean, I originally did rate it a 4, but right now it's like verging between a 3 and a 3.5. So
I think I'm on a 4. I don't know. I think I need to see it again.
yeah.
The cinematography
honest.
keeps it at a 4 for me.
But
I
the
think
thing
the
is-
way it looks is really nice, and I think if it didn't,
And the
if it
soundtrack
looked
was
like,
great.
yeah,
Soundtrack's pretty good.
If it didn't look and
Right.
sound like shit,
Big up Gary.
Yeah.
Gary.
I don't know what the fuck you're on about.
Song 2,
Gary
mate.
Glitter. Rock and roll song
God,
2.
yeah.
Oh.
I think if it didn't look and if it looked and sound like shit, obviously it would flop. To be honest, but I
Yeah.
think it has a lot of things. I think Joaquin's performance wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked it.
It's
I thought it was
far from his best performance, which is her. Ooh. Ooh.
Or you wish you were never really here.
Oh yeah, that's a really good one.
After I watched it, I
Yeah.
watching it.
And The Master, which he's great in. He's and also Gladiator. Pretty shit film, but he's pretty good in it.
I didn't realise that was him.
Yeah, yeah.
I
no.
thought that. What was the other one with what's his name? He looks really ropey all the time.
Ryan?
Ryan, Ryan.
I was in a film with Joaquin Phoenix.
No, don't worry.
Well, yeah, but no, her still his best movie. Still his best.
No, I want to go
performance.
see 1917.
1917.
That's on the list. I also want to go see Jojo because obviously
JoJo's great.
Taika Waititi, director of Boy.
Yes,
That was a very
Boy.
good film.
Oh boy. But there's 3 more films from 2019 I want to see, and my list on Letterboxd will be complete. I want to see Uncut Gems,
I
new
don't know
Adam
that.
Sandler Safdie Brothers film.
I'm not a fan of Adam Sandler.
Well,
No, I'm not
this
a
is the same guys who made Good Time,
Okay.
and they've worked around it, and his performance is being held for Oscar buzz. It's that good.
Yeah.
So I'm quite hyped for
One
that.
with the Oscars is you can't drink.
Oh. But also The Lighthouse, Robert Pattinson and Willem
Is that
Dafoe.
good?
Well, haven't seen it
I
yet,
also
but I'm really,
really
hyped for
want
it.
to fucking see.
Parasite.
That's the one.
That's
Parasite,
it. I really want to see Parasite.
yeah.
I really
Bong
want to see
Joon
that one.
Ho. Oh,
I've
his
heard so much good stuff about Parasite.
Okja.
Okja.
Okja. Me and Luke, big fans of that one.
Love that film.
Snowpiercer. Okay.
That film
Luke
is
ain't a fan.
Shit.
But he also made Mother, which is really good.
I haven't seen that.
It's really, really good. One of his Korean films. Memories of Murder and The Host. They're all really great, and I'm very excited for
What was the one you saw
Parasite.
recently? With the Beats. What was Beats like?
Beats. Oh well, Beats
'Cause
was.
There was no cinema screening of it.
There was
It's
like
Beats
one
about the guy who
BFI.
just makes like.
No,
No.
not Netflix's Beats.
No.
The British film Beats. I
It's a
forget.
bit grunt. It feels Danny Boyle. When I look at it,
It is a
looks
bit Danny Boyle.
Boyle-y.
Yeah, it's very like early Danny Boyle,
looks like
Shallow
T2.
Grave. Yeah, Shallow Grave style.
Yeah.
But with Beats, that was made by the same guy who made the episode of Black Mirror, The Entire History of You,
I love that.
which is a really great episode. And he does take a lot of his filmmaking tropes from that. Obviously, this is all shot in black and white, but
So sorry, I'm just going back to that. So was there multiple directors of the Charlie Brooker's story?
yeah. Charlie Brooker was only a writer on all the episodes, but yeah, no, it's very similar to that. Actually, funnily enough, Entire History of You is the one episode that Charlie Brooker didn't write. So
Alright.
interesting, but yeah, Beats is really good. For Alfie's sake, it's basically these 2 boys who go to an illegal rave.
I thought they start it.
No, they don't start it. They do assist one of the guys who's organising it at one point in the film, but it's just sort of like a 2 days in these 2 teenagers' lives, and it's pretty good. I gave it a 4. I'll probably return to it at some point.
I mean,
it's pretty good.
I will watch it. I just haven't got round to it because a film like that, you've got to kind of be in the right frame of mind to be wanting to watch that, because to me, from watching the trailer, it feels like a nitty gritty sort of raw British movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get those vibes from like Train Spotting and stuff. And you've got to be, and even what's it called? Yeah, you love it.
I love it.
Skinheads.
Oh, This Is England.
This Is England. I get
one of the best movies ever made.
That.
Yeah.
I get This Is England vibes.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean,
and that is a great. Yeah. The film is a great film.
Well, there are no majorly bigoted racists in Beats, luckily.
No, but
there are similar kind of aggressive
80s,
90s.
Okay.
But there are similar kind of aggressive like northern characters.
Yeah.
Who are like, you know, very overly masculine and like really aggressive. So yeah, the characters are very similar in that sense. But yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't think Danny Boyle's made a film in ages.
But yeah, no, I suppose.
What was his last? Oh, Yesterday. I actually watched that recently.
You saw it finally.
I've finally seen it.
I gave it.
I am not a fan.
I gave it a 2.5.
I didn't bother with that one.
I may even
layer it to a 2.
Shit.
Lower it to a 2.
I mean, I'm thinking. Hold on a second. I mean, as much as I'm not, I'm a sick of Slumdog Millionaire. Because of
studies.
Because of having to watch it more than once. I think about 19 times I've seen that film. In the course of a month. In the course of 1 month. That was a great film.
Now it's a shit film.
Well, no, it's not a shit film. It is still a good film, but I've watched it too much. You're
sick to death of it.
I am sick of it.
I'm sick of it, but I didn't even watch it as many times as you. It was just from how much you had to like get involved with it, and I was like, my god, I hate it.
It is a great film.
Yeah,
it is a great film without a doubt. But when Yesterday came out, I stood back and I thought, hold on a second. You know when you're watching a Danny Boyle film,
and there's none of his tropes in it.
No, you know when you're watching a Danny Boyle film because of the tropes that are used, which are his style, his artistic look. Like there's a certain look about a Danny Boyle film, and this film was too clean.
Yes, but that might be in fact partly because the film was written by Richard Curtis, who made films like About Time, Notting Hill.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Love Actually.
Yeah, so he's quite. That makes sense.
And Richard Curtis is great at what he does, but not a
Danny Boyle.
No.
Yeah.
The thing with Danny is he's always been we'll do it the old way.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always loved about him, because he does it it looks so good. So, you know, in Slumdog Millionaire, I mean, I've got a lot of it, like, knowledge about this film because I had to find out so much about it. But the use of sort of, they couldn't use big film reel cameras in the slums. They had to use small digital cameras when it was first sort of around. And he's always been a lead, like, someone who leads technology.
Yeah.
You know, the use of Steadicam in Slumdog Millionaire and stuff like that. Train Spotting. It's those, canted angles. He uses a lot of canted angles in Train Spotting.
28 Days Later, especially.
That's
as well.
That's a great film. And you wouldn't think it would be because of the scenario that the guy is
exactly.
in. How would you make a guy in one same bloody place look interesting?
Do you think Yesterday would have been better if Richard Curtis directed?
Maybe, but maybe if it was even a director who'd done more comedy stuff. Yeah, well, the thing is, the script's pretty shit as well.
The dialogue's awful.
And also the plot itself doesn't make sense.
Goes nowhere.
And a lot of the jokes wouldn't work because there's the line after he plays the song Yesterday in the film. The girl says, "Oh, it's not as good as Coldplay." But if you think about it logically, a band like Coldplay wouldn't sound the same.
Yeah, my teacher was talking to me about this.
Yeah, like,
he was just saying, I've seen Yesterday, and like you've got all like these like modern pop like musicians, but none of them would have existed without the Beatles.
And when he goes back to his room later,
they're all like everything. Like the Beatles have contributed so much to music.
Big influence on the industry.
Yeah. Well, we'd all probably still be listening to Swing. You know what I mean? Without the genuinely,
they brought a boy pop.
Yeah, it's just the pop.
Yeah.
The way their music worked was, I think we'd all still be listening to like doo-wop, barbershop. I think or something similar. Like we wouldn't have strayed away.
When you do music for A levels, what would you say?
From the music expert here. Let's
I
hear
don't
it.
know about that.
Well,
Let's hear it. What would you say about?
I think what about the Beatles?
Yeah, don't forget your microphone, mate.
I think the way the Beatles are so, like, I don't know, like what could you say about the Beatles? Everything. Like, I think the way the Beatles have made music the way it is because they were at the start just a pop band and they made pop music.
yeah.
They basically made pop music because, I mean, I'm no expert, but like the way the Beatles had just went, with the simple songs and the like, even now, like you listen to the Beatles, like you think, oh, that's nice to listen, like old, like the pop Beatles, because Beatles have two sides. They have pop and drugs.
Yeah.
If you listen to the pop side, you go, oh yeah, this sounds pleasant. This is nice to listen to.
Yeah.
And I think that is what laid the foundations of what we listen to now as a mass.
Yeah.
Which is good or bad. Who depends who you ask. But
it depends what you're into. Doesn't it?
But what the Beatles were good at is they invented this idea of really nice music to listen to, that slightly sort of when like they were cheesy.
I mean,
and
to be honest,
they
the
made
recordings weren't particularly great.
But you've got all these remasters coming out
But
now.
you've
The
got-
Abbey Road remaster
But
has
you
been
do
worked very
have
well.
the talent of them.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you've got to agree with me. The recordings aren't great.
Yeah.
Well, no, because they're limited by what they had at the time.
Yeah, I mean they
That's
had
why
a
I
reel
used-
to reel, didn't they? So
Yeah, they had, they,
reel to reel, 16
one of the great
tracks.
things about
Yeah.
the Beatles as well is if we're talking about production, which I'm glad we are, because so far I've had nothing to say. The Beatles are incredible because what they did, they are one of the first people to fully utilize multi-track recording. And obviously, we're recording on Audition right now, and sometimes we record on Logic. We didn't have any of that, but they didn't have any of that. But what they did have is they were able to record 4 tracks
Yeah.
and put them together.
On a reel to reel, isn't it 16 tracks you get?
You get them nowadays, but they didn't have them then.
Well,
They had 4.
when Queen did Bohemian Rhapsody, they had I watched this thing and they said they had 16 tracks on this reel to reel,
Yeah.
and they had to flatten all of the tracks that they had already because of how much crap they wanted to stick into this one song.
Yeah.
So they had to flatten the originals so that they can make room for more stuff.
Yeah. So they had to
Limiting sort of
So if
editing
if someone cocked up the piano on Bohemian Rhapsody, that's it. Like that's it. That's all you've got now. That's what you've got. Unless you want to record over.
I think these days we're very spoiled.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can do.
I mean, sorry.
just anything.
When we go to, even at our college, because you do music tech, going downstairs to the studios and seeing, the equipment that you can use as a student, it is pretty incredible. But to think that a band like the Beatles had none of that.
They had none of that. They
you've
introduced that into the world. So with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club band, one of my favourite albums of all time, they utilised everything. They utilised the way, like, multi-track recording, and they use it to make their songs sound so unique. So there's one song called For the Benefit of Mr. Kite.
Oh, yeah.
And the song was made just by looking at words on a advertisement,
like a newspaper
advertisement for a circus for the benefit of Mr. Kite, like some charitable benefit, and they got the whole song from that. And then what they did was there's this one part of the song where they got these carousel. So the way people used to record is they'd get paper. This is true. Is you could get paper and then make holes in it. And then when you played the paper back, you would hear the sound. I don't know how they did it, but
How
they
does
did.
that work?
I don't know,
Crazy.
but it did.
Played the paper back.
Yeah, with holes. It had holes in.
bit of music.
So
and
what
science.
they did is he got, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Harrison or something. I don't know. They said to their assistant, "Is like, can you cut up this recording of a carousel, throw it up in the air, and then pick out some random bits, and then we're going to stitch that back together, and then we're going to have that in the song." So if you listen to the song, it's just like this random assortment of carousel noises that have been cut up and diced up and put everywhere. Something you can do now. Back in the day, they didn't have, you know, flex pitch and quantization, and you know, they literally got on their hands and knees and picked out random bits.
I think music production's got so convoluted nowadays, though. I don't know if you'd agree with me, but I think music production has got so much more. There's just a lot to it now.
Well, I suppose
it's
like,
a lot.
when you look back and think, okay, you couldn't have, you know, done a, you know, change the pitch of someone's voice or sound, you know, you had to actually be able to sing.
Yeah.
For one, you know, you actually had to have raw talent to be able to sing, for it to sound good, and you couldn't just sort of go, okay, well, we'll go in there and we'll just bring that out, we'll brighten that up.
No.
It was, what you get is what you get.
Yeah.
And music production now is, oh, it's all right, love, you can't really sing, but so James will sort that out. You'll sound just as good as they are.
But in a way,
don't joke about something so true that I've had to do at my college.
In a way, hasn't that been a way of inventing like some cool new genres though?
Yes.
Like,
this is the other side of the argument.
Yeah.
I completely think that the revolution of technology has brought us some amazing music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've got sounds which physical objects and instruments would not be able to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can literally just bring that in.
Yeah.
And also, all you need to like make music nowadays is a keyboard and a computer with logic on it. All you need is a
bloody laptop.
You need a fucking you don't even need
a laptop with a program.
Yeah. You don't even need a keyboard, but some people
you can do it with a bloody iPad.
Yeah. You can literally, and you get any instrument you fucking want. And okay, no, it's not
anyone
live, but at the same time, you want to write a song.
I mean,
anyone can make music.
We made Too Hot in fucking Premiere Pro, so
did we?
Something like that.
Audition.
Oh, did you? We used Audition.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
We need to remaster that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, luckily this will happen
soon. This was the thing I wanted to talk about, because obviously we all said to each other what songs.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Oh god, I haven't listened to the song.
Oh god. Well, I've listened. I forgot to listen to Alfie's, but I've listened to Luke's.
I haven't listened to... Oh, I did listen to a bit of Luke's, actually.
Yeah.
I did listen to that one. I haven't listened to Ryan's.
That was a rendition of Frank Sinatra and Biggie Smalls. Now, when you hear those two names, you think, no.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like this is one you two should go on for a bit more, because you love crooners like Frank Sinatra.
I do actually.
Alfie loves Biggie Smalls.
I like Frank Sinatra.
This is a really weird thing, actually, I suppose, because obviously our generation, it's not, people aren't into that kind of stuff. So I do see that as a little bit of like that's where I'm slightly different. When it comes down to my musical taste is weird. It's really strange, because
eclectic.
It's so vast as well, but a big part of my sort of music taste is crooners like Frank, Dean Martin, Sammy J Jr.
Yeah.
Or, you know, those that sort of group of musicians, and I just love the sound.
Yeah, me too.
There's a sound to those. It's the big voice,
soothing.
It's so powerful.
Yeah.
That it's almost an instrument on its own, and this is the thing with modern music. You do not get that now.
No.
You do not get that. There's something about hearing that male. It's almost like a percussion instrument.
Yeah.
And it like sort of rivals any other new modern song. When it vocally, the power that you have.
I just think music today, hot music, not every song obviously, because you know there's some incredible music being made today, but some music is so flat
and
mundane, and it's also so, like, the way songs work, they're like so, like regimented and commercialized, and you know every fucking like band has got like an army of fans on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I see this a lot because you see this shit online and they're like, go. You know, they're like you'll have someone who's like obsessed with a boy band or something.
Specifically K-pop stans.
K-pop, yeah, it's all.
We're not trying to get cancelled here, but fuck
same.
you guys.
It's all the fucking same. It doesn't matter. K-pop, A-pop, I don't know, American pop.
A-pop. That's a thing.
E-pop, English pop.
Now?
I don't know. Just whatever pop music, and you see like these boy bands, or whatever, and they're like, oh, and they're like put on their Snapchat stories like, oh, go listen to this artist's song and get it to #1, and I'm like, no.
Oh, you know what?
No, I'm not.
I saw something.
Music shouldn't be about, and this is right. I'm going somewhere with this.
All right.
And music shouldn't be about, oh, let's just get my song to #1, and it's gone to the point now where Justin Bieber.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Justin Bieber himself has gone, guys, let's get my new song to #1.
No, but he put how to get it to #1.
How he put a tutorial on his Instagram as like these infographics saying, here's how you can get my new song Yummy to #1, and he's like, just play it all the time. You don't even have to have the volume up. You can just put it on repeat on silent. It's still get the views. And like, is this music now?
Yeah.
Is
this what it's come to?
Yeah,
it's such an awful song.
Is this just a rate? I've never heard it.
This is the thing that and this is why making music, making it so easy to make, isn't the best thing, because every son and Joe can be a bloody artist. And this takes me, obviously, so the whole crooners thing, that sound is they had a talent, and that was what they did.
And they used it,
yeah. And today people make music for their fans. They make what their fans want to hear.
Yeah.
Now, a favourite artist of me, Ryan, and yours, Mac DeMarco. The thing about Mac, he makes music for himself. He doesn't give a fuck if you like it or not. He makes it for himself.
Yeah.
And 9 times people fucking love it anyway.
I mean,
it just so happens that he's got like an army of like indie boys who just like smoke weed and smell of cigarettes.
I don't think
who
he
just
likes that.
Fucking
because when like me and Luke saw him in the summer live, which was very good, and we went with our friend Ben, and me and Luke left early because we had to get the train back to the lovely southeast of England. And Ben, our friend Ben, he stuck around for a bit, and he waited out.
He went to the after party, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to the after party which Mac was DJing at, and he waited around, and like he told me that a lot of the people who like boys who dress like Mac DeMarco and all that, like they were all waiting out, and they were all like, Mac, I love you. Oh my god, you're such a genius. You're so clever. And like Mac was like, yeah, thanks, man. And then when my friend Ben came up to him, was just like, hi man, you wanna sign my water bottle, which Mac threw at him. God bless him. And he was like, yeah, sure, man. He was like, the demeanor in his tone was so much more different.
I don't think he likes people treating him like a god.
Yeah,
Mac's never liked commercialism.
Yeah,
he's been since day one. He's made his music videos himself with his mates. He is the pinnacle of someone who is just themselves.
Yeah.
And they've been...
And you look at like some of these stars and it's like, oh, you're just Sony Records as like some fit girl or something.
Yeah.
Like you're just...
You
your
are
tunes
just to fit within the label's needs.
Yeah, you're just like... You look at that and it's like, oh, Columbia Records as a woman. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, she's going to crank out some music.
This is why...
And it's annoying because you see these people like genuine talent.
Yeah.
But they are wasting their potential.
But
they're getting millions, but they're wasting what could be something that could sound better.
Yeah.
And they pump auto-tune in, and believe me, you don't need to be that trained to hear it. And but like you can just you just turn it on
R2D2.
Yeah, you just hear fucking R2D2. Yeah, that's a good one. It's like, yeah, you turn on there and it sounds like it sounds like fucking BB-8 on the microphones. You know what I mean? You just think, oh my god. And the I'll tell you what, the level you can go to now is insane. And I don't know everything, but there's something on Logic Pro, and it's called Flex Pitch, and you can literally go into the waveform, like the sound, and you can drag the pitch to the right key.
So it's like changing the key on a piano.
Like changing the key on a piano.
Crazy.
On a MIDI roll. And it's literally like you can make it on time. You can, obviously it doesn't always work, but you can make it in the right key, and you're like it's so fine tuned now that's why everything sounds the fucking same. It's because everything is so fine tuned to like perfection, what they view as perfection. And I think that's why people like they like hearing, or at least I know I do, is they like hearing the more raw stuff these days, and the things.
That's why I love the alternative scene.
The alternative scene's more in, because and it's like these fucking BTS and Ariana Grande and whatever. It's like, get this song to number 1. It's like, it could be a really shit song, and I actually know people who are like that, are like so obsessed with getting this song to number 1 to support their fans. It's like, if you really want to show support, just listen to the song. Like, no one, you're not gonna force anyone to listen to the song. Like, it's not gonna work.
What I think the thing about commercial music, the thing I hate about it is that what it brings with it.
Yeah.
It's not so much I don't like the music. I mean, a lot of it is shite, but that's not the part which I disagree with. It's just the whole what goes with it. People are, I think, almost desensitized to what's good anymore.
Yeah.
People have, instead of the artists going, right, we're going to make something that we want to listen to, they're going, what do people want to listen to?
Yeah. What do people want?
What works?
Yeah.
What works? What have we done before that works?
And that's why I was a really big fan of Old Town Road. Because I know it was like a big I enjoyed that because it was like this song from YouTube that like someone had made uploaded on their YouTube account. I thought, oh my god, like this is so bizarre, and you can tell that this guy went.
I liked it because it broke.
It slightly broke the norm. Actually, he's a really good artist, and some of his music is really like.
Panini.
It's it's a bit of a pop thing. Whatever, I don't care. I really like Lil Nas X. I think he's a really.
I mean,
well, that brings me on to someone that a lot of people like, and a lot of people have said that their newer stuff is better, which I'd majorly disagree on. I think this also sort of ties into what you were saying with labels trying to hear what they want the people to hear, and that's Billie Eilish. I prefer a lot of her early EPs to what she's doing now.
Her and her brother, bashing one out,
and now it feels like her and her brother have got like this massive horde of people around her. Like, obviously, her debut album like has got some really good songs on it, but they all sort of sound the same, like as a whole. And I can't remember what the name was of this new single. Well, no, not the album, but she's released a new single. I can't remember the name of it, but it literally just sounds like every sound on When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, condensed into this drone, and it's just not her anymore, I think. But
I think it's really hard for someone like her because she's young and impressionable.
Yeah.
So it's very
She's only turned 18.
Yeah, it's very easy for a label to come along and go, right, you want to cater for this, that, and this. That worked. We're going to do that again. How do we do that? That sounds the same. Bingo.
Yeah. And then they're going to run that out until the audience gets sick of it, and then they move on and they get rid of Billie Eilish.
And the fans will take it there.
Yes. The Eilishes.
The Eilishes will go, oh, that was great, great. And then like 10 years' time, you will never hear a Billie Eilish song.
Well, you think of something like, you think of someone like David Bowie. Okay,
Icon.
You still like his music. You play it today, and it still is what it always was.
Yeah.
You play something. I was thinking about this the other day, and I feel like I'm going to use the Spice Girls as an example.
Yeah.
That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They were, probably longer.
Well, 90s.
20 now.
Yeah. So nearly 20 years has gone by since their reign. I'd call it. But it's not like, you wouldn't go, oh, I'm going to play. So if it was David Bowie, you'd be like, oh, I might stick on Heroes or something like that. And you would be like, yes, that sort of takes you back. But you wouldn't go, oh, I'm going to stick the Spice Girls on.
No.
Or at least I wouldn't particularly. But I'm also thinking, if they don't hold the same powerful presence as a song like, you know, Heroes or...
But it also could be like what the song's talking about. Like Heroes is a very poignant song. And like stuff by the Spice Girls is like, oh, I want to fucking fuck you.
Yeah.
It's mainstream.
Like,
it's mainstream.
As bad as that term was, but
it's just mainstream jargon.
That is, and then that's my problem. It's my like one fear with not so much the music industry, because the music industry will probably stay the same. And what the great thing about the music industry is there's actually nowadays so much liberty to listen to whatever the fuck you want, because everyone's got streaming. That you can just go and listen to. But like, this is the thing. Again, this is the thing. So like, nowadays I think our generation especially can have the ability to, and a lot of people
spoiled.
We're so spoiled. Like, we can listen to whatever the fuck we like. Realistically, we can listen to whatever the fuck we want, and that is so unlike other industries like the film industry, which is more and more just turning like. I worry the fact that one corporation could own everything. Quite a bit with film.
Especially Disney.
It's going to be Disney or fucking.
But purely because there's two differences between film and music.
But the thing is, with music, is anyone can upload to Spotify.
That's what I'm
talking
about.
We fucking uploaded to Spotify.
Yeah,
we can make music. I will never worry about there being a big monopoly on music, because actually anyone can make music they want.
Whereas unless you've got a big studio behind you, you can't go, right, we're going to put this in 30.
But then film do the same thing. It's like, what do they want? And they
that's why YouTube rate. Like,
that's why TV is awful, because like no one fucking when is the last time you sat down to watch live television? Not iPlayer.
Like forever ago.
Live television.
Yeah, like forever ago.
A long time ago. Because
that wasn't like the news.
No, I haven't.
But the thing is, though, like, the only live TV that I think our generation watches now is that shit tripe like Love Island.
Yeah. And that really annoys me, because this is an awful...
Fucking Dingle Crescent!
It's fucking awful programming. I hate Love Island with a passion.
I have never got into it.
One thing that annoys me is Jeremy Cartwright. I'm a big fan of Jeremy Cartwright.
Oh,
Jeremy Cartwright. Then sadly took his own life because of how the basically poor attention, was it that he got?
Well, like
he was
3 people have been driven to kill themselves who used to be on Love Island.
Have they really?
Oh yeah.
3 people.
That's true. Yeah.
Huh.
And you see it in the community. The Love Island community is so toxic.
They are
It's
real
always
people.
villain of the week. Who are we going to hate now? Oh my god, Georgia's such a slag, isn't she?
Well,
there's no way she's ever going to land a man. She's such a fucking...
Do you know what the thing is?
And it's like, I can see why. Like, this is just inspiring, this...
Oh, it drives me nuts, because people aspire to this shit.
Yeah.
And
people
that's what people think you have to be.
Mental health is so important, and it is. It's really important. But at the same time, you're watching shit like Love Island, which is
toxic. It's
so toxic, and it's literally judging people on live TV and going, "Oh, they're a slag." Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, they're like...
It's almost giving people an excuse.
And then, and it's fine if, like, we all do it. We all judge people, and we all go, like, to our friends, like, who the fuck was that? But the fact that it's such and such a small scale, like, you can meet a dickhead, and you think, oh, God, he was a prick. And then you'll never see the fucker again, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
I'm not joking.
But Love Island, imagine the whole fucking nation going, what a prick. And then they put it on their Twitters and their Instagrams, and then it just puts the whole fucking country against, like, people who are, let's be honest, all right, probably a little bit dim because they're on Love Island, but like all these people who just
steady on there, Alex.
You know, do like Love Island, fucking whores. No, but do you know what I mean? It's I'm kidding, obviously, but you get those people. It's like, it's just putting yourself out there, and it's because people believe that they can go on Love Island and they can they can get their fame,
There's
they can
an-
get
well, I
their,
think there's a
their
thing-
brand deals.
Yeah, there's a thing about it that it's a way what a lot of people see in Love Island is there's an aspiration. Sorry, I don't want to slow down. There's an aspiration to be that person, and it's like a this is not life, but it can be yours.
Yeah, you can go to an island and show off your body. And
This takes
find a
me
really
back
hot
to
man.
our second podcast or something when we were talking about the Fire Festival. I'm going to
Oh,
go
yeah.
back to this. That was selling a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is the exact same thing as what Love
Because
Island is.
everyone wants to fucking go to a private island and party with Kendall Jenner.
Yeah,
We all don't lie. We all want that because Kendall Jenner's cool, and everyone wants to be on a private island and get pissed with with fucking T.I. or is it or something?
Oh, yeah.
Some rapper. Everyone wants to get pissed with rappers and models, but you can't sell that to 1,000 people. And the same way, you can't sell this false light, and then as soon as you buy into it, it's like suddenly a race to be popular. It's like secondary school over again, where you just you've got to be popular and good looking, and it's so damaging to people, people's perceptions of themselves and then people's perceptions of you, because I think you put yourself out there on live TV, and most people who do that usually have some kind of skill that they're a journalist, or they're a politician, or they're just good at being on TV. You get those people I don't know, Ben, what's his face? Ben Oakes or something, or whatever his face is. He's just good at being on TV. He's like a presenter.
Yeah.
These are just regular people. And then you set them up to be judged by loads of other people.
Well, you set them up to come crashing the fuck
and then they're going to crash down.
And then you've got to be the thing is with the Love Island thing is it brings out the worst in people.
It does.
They want the toxicness. They want fucking
because
disputes.
the toxicness makes the fucking money.
That's what makes money, because it draws people in. The drama draws people in. It reminds me of Big Brother. Yeah, and I think the biggest story from Big Brother was Jade Goody.
Yeah,
and you look at what Jade Goody was, and it was all about how do we make the next load of money? What photos will start controversy? What can we do that will make us 350 quid? I know. Let's pose as, let's fucking film my bloody funeral.
Yeah.
My wedding. There was actual photographers bidding on who was going to be there. Yeah. And they had security to keep all the rest out. That was the extreme of reality television. Yeah. And what Jade Goody did was she showed that anyone can be on telly. Anyone can be famous. Yeah. And it's awful.
It's really bad, and it's one of the worst things about TV now is it's oh, Love Island's coming back, can't wait, and I'm you're still watching Love. It should be off the air in our society.
Yeah. It's not even a yearly gap now.
Yeah.
It was 5 months ago.
Coming back.
Yeah,
it's coming back. It's another one. Again, it's this month, isn't it?
Yeah, 5 months ago.
I saw it on Twitter. It's an ad. I was like, are you again?
Yeah.
More?
It's ridiculous.
I mean, the world is so PC nowadays, and everyone's which is, in my opinion, quite a good thing.
Yeah.
And the way people, you can't say anything nowadays. You can't be racist in the street. It's bloody PC gone mad. Honestly, God, why can't I call a black person the N-word in the middle of the street? Oh, it's so racist. I think PC gone mad.
I think this is something we've also unintentionally satirized in stuff like Farmer John's Bigger Problems.
Yeah.
Because there's not to praise ourselves or anything, but in that you see a lot of people who spout hate unintentionally, but they're completely oblivious to it.
Yeah.
And that's how those
media.
That's how those characters you are laughing at them all of them are pretty bad people.
Whenever
that's what makes it so
whenever I got into character to do that, I always felt whenever I was sort of playing that character, you would just, I think some of it was unusable because you just say anything.
Oh my god, some of the shit I've said is Alec Gardner.
you just say it.
You just go, oh, I'm going to be this person and I'm going to be the worst person ever.
You're no longer there, and it separates. But it also, I think one of the things that you notice, yes, we don't use it purely just because it's something that's awful. but you step back and you go, that's what I've been sort of thinking, and not in a bad way. I'm just saying that's sort of what I feel like the media and social media influences all these things, and you come back and it all dwells up, and then you finally say something, and obviously you'll get criticised if that's made public, but you've said it and you know that that's what other people are thinking as well.
Yeah.
What give us an example of what you mean?
I'm it's hard to sort of express it, but
Well, there's a lot of people in the film industry who've had this. James Gunn, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff, he was fired for making I think it was like some rape joke or something, but his comedy films before the Marvel stuff have always been really dark and really like twisted and satirical, like a movie he made called Super, which is really twisted, which he made around the same time he made those tweets. It all sort of ties back, and when you've got these large corporations and all these, like, all the public's eyes on you, it's like, you can't say that, even if you are joking about it.
Technically, no, you shouldn't say. And, like, okay, but also, like, people will dig out these tweets from all time ago, and they'll be like, God, that means he's pro-rape. And it's like, okay, so you probably said, like, a bad thing, but that doesn't mean that you can't change as a person. James Gunn got his job back. He's making Guardians 3 because his co-stars were like, yeah, that was like ages ago, and we've all said shit. Like, we all say shit in the company of our own homes that could not be said on live television. Yeah, we've all gone.
They're in the limelight.
Yeah, because we've all made, we've all made like a slightly risque joke about something that probably was slightly risque, and if it's well timed and quite funny, you can probably get away with it. But at the same time, you can't say that on live TV, which is why Ricky Gervais is so like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. I can't believe he said celebrities were friends with Jeffrey Epstein. When that shouldn't even be controversial. That's just truth.
Yeah.
Like, that's just true. And it's a shame that Ricky Gervais is the pinnacle of, like, oh my God, he said something that was really true.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a joke. It was just him saying the truth. But people are so shocked they find it funny.
Yeah.
That's him just going, oh, you're mates with you were mates with Jeffrey Epstein or something, or like, you did nothing about Weinstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, funny man. It's like, no, he's just not even like.
He is actually saying something.
Yeah, he's just saying something, but the fact that you have to have one person who's risen to the top to say that is rather tragic. I think like we should, yeah.
Because it takes someone to do that.
I don't know. I just think it's
like
this whole, and like again, like it's all these big corporations like Disney and everything that sweeping shit under the rug. Do you know what I mean? And like, oh, you like like fucking Disney, like, oh yeah, James Gunn said that we can't face any criticism, otherwise our film won't make any money because people will cancel us, whatever, and then they'll just get rid of him. But that backfired.
Wow.
Well, where were we? Crooners.
Yes.
I mean, why don't we make
we digress.
Our thoughts on our song picks quite brief.
Yeah. Well,
it was quite amusing hearing Biggie Smalls rapping over Frank Sinatra beats.
I thought that was
quite wholesome.
I think it was very clever.
That was a neat.
I've heard of something. I haven't listened to it, but I've heard of it, and it's called the Grey Album. So it's songs from the Beatles' White Album with Jay-Z's lyrics and a cappella from the Black Album.
Ah, that's pretty clever.
So they made the Grey Album, and it was of those two, and apparently it's really good.
This is the thing. I think, I think music-wise, while we're still on this topic, I think we need to look back at what was good. Yeah. Because I feel like commercialism and stuff like that has taken over.
Yeah.
And it's ruined what we once had. The rap scene today, you get the odd song which you're like, oh, that's really good. But most of it,
it's all rappers with Lil in their name.
I'm not joking, but after you've heard someone rap about sort of getting it on with the other woman or some other, just rapping about bollocks, basically. And the nothing with any soul. and talking like you're from the hood and that you've been through shit. Do you know what I mean? When you haven't.
Yeah.
It's rubbish.
I think even Stormzy's reaching that point now, because I used to like a lot of his stuff,
but I think
and now it's just the same shit over and over again.
You're just going with what works, what people like. Oh, that worked last time. Let's do that again. And it takes me back to thinking about something like, I don't know, Dr. Dre and that scene, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, the DOC. You look at them and you think they were making music about what was going on at the time. They were reporting on what was happening. And you don't get that nowadays. Yes, you do every now and then. You get the rare sort of seed of something, but you don't get.
And people, I think you'll get songs where like people will rap about like their posh childhood or whatever.
Yeah, no one gives a shit.
And it's just like, but it's no. I just feel like again but that stuff never makes the charts. No. That stuff never makes the news or like anything interesting. Like. Except for there was that really good song by 21 Savage called A Lot.
I haven't heard it.
It's good. Mm-hmm. It's got J. Cole in it.
Oh, J. Cole, right.
I like J. Cole. I really like J. Cole. And it's a really good song, even by 21 Savage, which I know it's crazy.
From Britain, coincidentally.
Yeah, from Britain.
Well, Slow Tie is another great artist.
Slow Tie, right. Nothing Great About Britain is the only good rap album I've heard this year.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that.
It's legit
Slow Tie
amazing.
is a very good artist.
I've heard Slow Tie before.
It's probably my favourite album of the year.
I really like what he's doing.
And he's like you guys said, like he has something to say.
And
unlike other rappers.
He is one of the rare ones.
Yeah. I think rap has always been at its best when it's saying shit that is like, whoa. Like, do you know what I mean? You sort of think, you listen to that and you think, fuck, like that's
if you take
like
back to when
Eminem. Like, do you remember? Like, do you remember when Eminem was good and he would like make music about like, oh yeah, I want to fuck, your mother, and I have already, and you think, oh my god, like, and he's just saying shit. You think,
or even just
what the fuck, and and you think, oh my god, that's so good. As he's going, I can't think of anything. But
you just look
fuck
at
everything, man. I'm gonna piss
example.
on your wife's grave, and you just think, oh my god, that's so
the
out
one
there.
example that sticks out for me is NWA's "Fuck the Police."
Big up.
Yeah.
They were actually there was police at their concerts, and they were going to arrest them if they bloody sung it.
No.
And they just went literally, "Fuck the police."
Yeah. I don't know, like
music's a very
again. So I will listen to that Slow Tie album because if it's
amazing.
What's that one you played to me? I think it was about a year ago. Question Time. That's by Dave.
Dave's.
I like Dave's music because he's another one. He's a very similar to Slow Tie. You see, a lot of this lot are overlooked. I mean, obviously they're very big. They're not overlooked at all, but they're overlooked in the respect that they're not someone like.
Well, I think Dave's sort of like gained a lot of attraction because he won the Mercury Prize this year, and Slow Tie was up for that as well. But like, I think luckily those types of artists are starting to get a lot more recognised.
I think things are changing.
Yeah,
and I think we're going to see a big change in this next because obviously we're in a new decade.
Yeah,
it's going to be a new because the 2010s are over.
Yeah.
We're now in 2020.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a big shift, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be different.
It's going to be a big change. Film, music, generally politics, climate change.
I think
all these things, there's going to be a big shift. And I think,
I think 2020, like the 2020s, and I stand by this, there's going to be such a big crisis that it's going to force people's hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's getting to that point now with Australia and things like that.
Iran and everything.
And it's just the climate change thing.
Yeah.
Is we are so like fucking ourselves over that there's going to be to a point where like we are going to be in actual serious danger where we've got to go, okay, something's got to happen. Like, and then because the annoying thing about our government is if there is no reason to change, they will not change.
And if money still gets made,
if money's still being made,
if the economy's,
I
don't want to get political on here because that's not us. But I think it's valid to talk about the fact that obviously these are the last 10 years we've sort of got to do something about climate change.
Yeah.
And I do believe in climate change, and I do think that needs to be discussed and spoken about as a whole. Not time on this show today, but I do feel that we need to buck up our ideas, or else our generation and our future generations aren't going to have, but they aren't going to have anything. But at the same time, I also feel like this has been coming around for a long time. And there's a part of me which says, maybe this is just meant to happen, another ice age.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This was set in stone kind of thing. And obviously nothing lasts forever.
No.
So, on that poignant note.
Wow.
Well, we're
loudmouth getting poignant.
I know.
Damn.
I think, well, it's either that and we go to fucking Mars, isn't it? That's the thing.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, anything we want to say before we leave, guys?
God is dead and Trump killed him.
Stay strong and watch Parasite when it comes out.
Watch Parasite.
Support
as
film.
We will.
Support film.
Hopefully, let's watch Parasite.
Don't buy Disney
interrupt
Plus.
this screening for a special occasion.
Yeah. Don't buy fucking Disney Plus.
Pirate the Mandalorian
like I will do.
Be sane. Stay safe.
Don't do drugs. Become famous and you get them for free.
Hooray!